Welcome back to session 17 of Preseason Diaries, a long 3 hour Friday training session, which is pretty much main training. We had virtually a whole squad here. There was a bunch of players doing rehab. You just saw Lockie Sullivan run across the screen. We'll talk about Nick Dacos later. Tom Mitchell, obviously not there. Charlie Dean, not there. But you'll notice that in this video, I'm trying to focus on players that I don't usually focus on. Here's a lot of Harry Perryman. You'll see him throughout the video because a lot of people were commenting that they want to see more of Harry Perryman. You got a little bit of Bo, who's looking absolutely killer. I was talking to some people at training about Bo, and I just reckon that's he's getting into the midfield this season 100,000%. Who you just saw before was Curtis Taylor. So we had two VFL top up players because we did a little bit of, I wouldn't say full match sim, but it was more like scenario match sim. Um, you'll see, like, look at these two guys, right? Isaac Quaynor and Dan Houston. What a nightmare they're going to be off of halfback. So this is Nick Dacos doing a bunch of run-throughs. This was right at the start of the session, and he looked pretty good. You'll see in a little bit after he does pretty much virtually the full ground, just sort of, I don't know, what would you call that? Not even probably 75% of his running capacity. You see him having a little bit of a smile with some of the physios here. He has a kick. He does some left and right lateral movements. So he was looking okay. He did come off after this. He didn't stay on much longer after this. Hobbled a little bit, but the hobble was because, obviously it's a plantar injury. So, and it was pretty much right in the morning. So this was happening at like 9:45. So when it's still prevalent, he's going to be probably having to put up with this all season. I'm still not on like that we should worry too much about it, but we'll know more as the year unfolds. One guy that really caught my eye this training session was this guy right here, Harry Dimatia. Now, Harry was training, as you can see, with the mids. He did say at the start of the year, I think it was to SEN or 3AW, that he wanted to play more on the wing. I think he's surplus to needs on that half back line. We have too many players on the half back line. But Harry, this was probably the one training session that I've seen where he stood out. And you love that, right? Because he's done his apprenticeship now last year. He's had those injuries last year, so he's finally overcome them. I don't know if he gets a debut this year, unless we sort of need someone on the wing, because we've got Ed Allen and all these guys that are they're vying for that spot, or jostling for that spot. But Harry Dimatia, you'll see again him. I try to record most of him. He's got pace to burn, which we love. Linking up with Harry Perryman, who again. Harry Perryman is training with the mids. We've said this all along. He might go down to halfback or a back pocket a little bit of the time, but mainly he's going to be a midfielder. And you could see just in these couple of clips that they're always looking for Harry Dimatia to sort of get the ball out of congestion because he's got that good footy IQ. And I know that's cliche to say, but it is a good footy IQ. And talking about IQ, there's IQ right there. One thing that it's like you saw Steele sort of tackle Pendles there. Steele looks like he's getting quicker. I don't know how, but he looks like he's getting quicker. And speaking of how, Howie as well looked really good. If these older guys, they know that they're not on the back foot, but they know that the younger guys are nipping at their heels and they've got to pull something out to show that they're still in that best 23. So they are going all out and you love to see it. someone commented, I can't remember who it was, but they commented if Markov was in best 23. And as a half backer, I don't think he is. But what I noticed during the sort of match scenario slash match sim later on in the day, and I didn't record it, but he was like standing right next to Jamie Elliott, and just really annoying Elliott. So maybe there's a back pocket role for him. Is there something just sort of to reinvent him where we can still use his run, but also have him more accountable as a defender? And look at Bo bursting through that pack, right? That's why I think he's going to be in for a midfield role. I've got the video trained on Maynard in these next couple of clips because before I was recording, before these clips happened, he absolutely nailed someone to the ground as that white line fever in training. I don't know who it was, and I wish I caught it on camera, but it was such a good, clean tackle. So he's out with a vengeance again, even against his own teammates. You'll also see a number 40 running around here. I don't know who that is. It's definitely not Ash Johnson because Ash Johnson um, tackled someone earlier in the day, hit his head on the ground, and went straight into the room. So it could be a concussion thing. You'll see here now that the boys are just conditioning themselves before match sim. So they're absolutely wrecking themselves. And then they'll go into match sim. And then, of course, like they end every single session, it's just running, running, running. Something else I want to note as well is Jordan DeGoey and Bobby Hill were doing most of the drills. The only drills that they were in the rehab group for was when there was like high pressure drills and stuff like that. So they weren't doing any of those ones.
Do you put me in the video?
Yeah, I'll get you in the video.
Yeah, I'll search it up. I'll search it up on YouTube.
We saw a little bit of Nathan Murphy today. It was so good. Had tears watching him come back to the club and watching on and coaching all the defenders and stuff like that.
Your man.
Lockie Schultz was the other one that I was sort of keeping an eye on. You'll see him coming up here. You saw him a little bit earlier. I didn't get a lot of footage of him because sometimes everyone was training on the other side, and I just stayed on this one side. But he's looking really good, really evasive as well, really slippery, which we love, and he's showing a lot. And I think it's going to be a really big season for him, especially now that we've got Mychek, Membry, and McStay in that forward line.
Chaos.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
So I'll find out what day she's
The double whistle.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Is that Murphy down there? Swoop.
You'll see this and a little bit coming up now is just match simulation slash match scenarios. So not a full sort of practice match sim. One thing that I did notice though is you'll see like that Tim Membry pass right there. They were pretty much always looking for Membry or looking for McStay and leaving Mychek deep, which just indicates to me that look like first off, sorry, quickly Perryman, what he did there, bang to Membry. It just shows me that Membry is going to be a mainstay in our forward line. I can just feel it, and for Myercheck, and I was saying this to a couple of mates today, for Myercheck to not get the best defender after having the best defender for the last 5 years, or just having help, right? Is going to be absolutely incredible. We haven't even seen McStay and Myercheck play a lot of games together. It's probably maybe just over a dozen games together. I'll chuck the stat up. I have a look at it a little bit later. But and then with Membry there, I think the forward line is going to be very, very, very dynamic.
Who's that, Dad?
Parker.
I don't catch the incident, but there was some part of this match sim where I think it was IQ kicked it to Dan McStay, I want to say. McStay had to really lean and leap for the ball and looked like he just wrecked himself, but he got up and then he came off. He said he had a little bit of a tight hamstring, and there's Lockie Schultz, a member kicking that goal. He said he had a bit of a tight hamstring, so he went off, didn't participate in any of the match sim. He did come around at the end of the session and was signing and taking photos with a bunch of people. Looked okay, just a little bit tight in that left hamstring, but nothing that you can really go off or report at the moment. So again, they've just flogged themselves for 3 hours, and they flogged themselves even more by just running and running and running right at the end of the session. So there was players doing like, suicides, if you, for lack of a better term of what they are. Players doing this little, I don't know, volleyball, football drill, and then there was players in this next one that you'll see doing some tackling, mainly the forwards. You can see Nathan Murphy getting right into him and having so much bloody fun. But that's it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about him. Let me know who you want me to focus on that little session on Monday. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.
I'm saving the phone back.